Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. I had to look up the word Noel because I realized I didn't know really what that was. The celebration of all the love there is. That's what we're celebrating together on Christmas Day. Everything given by the Father. Like to start the day off, how precious. With Marguerite and a joining to celebrate that Christ is here already. And I'm seeing with Jesus that, yes, how joyful it is. We were just talking about how joyful it is to look with him at these things, because it's celebration of divinity. We're turning in to see what's true and just sheer joy of it. Because the ego's going to make it seem, oh, this is a big chore. The ego's handing out the assignments. We're starting with light. And we were talking, I mean, you just start listening to everything your brother says so deeply. It's like, oh, this is for me. And we were getting in this just beautiful joining on what's true and listening to Jesus and speaking, letting Jesus speak through us as one. Are there separate Jesuses? Let's just ask him. All there is the celebration of one. And you start to see how precious it is to be taught by your brother, just as it's precious to be taught by Jesus what's true. And she was talking about how she got, there seeming to be an altercation with her son. And he, if I heard correctly, pushed her against the wall. And it was so powerful. We could both see it in the sharing. Like he had just said no to the story about that. And how powerful we are to be able to say no to the untrue, like instantly. Jesus, do we have to sit through one moment of untrue? One moment of suffering? See that the light's not suffering. The light is celebrating itself, divinity. Jesus, am I that light? Is that what you're telling me what Christmas Day is? The reminder that it can't be any other way than to be infinite right now. It can't be any other way than supreme happiness. Is that my Christmas present? Supreme happiness? Just, and how much consciousness loves that play of running down to the tree and waiting to open the present and pretending like it doesn't know what the present is. You know, as I said, searching around all through the house to try to get into the attic to find where Santa hid the presents. You know, to sneak down the neighbors and look in their garage to see the bike that, like, this is the play, and to only see that as the play. And it came in that conversation to see the gift, like, 'cause there's so much more clarity when we're together and hearing Jesus, and you see that. And it's the comfort of both hearing it. And when Jesus was reminding me, you do not even know what a correction is. And we were laughing when we saw it. That is hilarious. Ask him, Jesus, do I even know what a correction is? Because the entire ego is structured to deny the simplicity and the directness and the availability and the love of a correction. So if we don't know what love is and we want to pretend it like we don't know, how are we going to know what a correction is? And we were laughing about the not knowing what a miracle is, and not knowing what we have one. Jesus going, yeah. Ask him, Jesus, do I actually know what a correction is? What do you mean? I've been studying the course for 10, 20, 30 years and I don't. He's that's humbling. He says, if you've been studying that long, you have not been listening to me about what a correction is. Because the whole ego is to say that corrections are difficult and it's going to be really hard. And Marguerite goes, and it's affiliated, Jesus told it's affiliated with the S word, the S word being sacrifice. Jesus, do I have a connection between a correction and sacrifice? What a great thing to look at. That's what we were talking about. These are great things to look at with you. You just get in the whole enthusiasm about it. All right, let's look at that. Instead of this drudgery. Oh, that's another one of the things I have to. Who's saying that? Honesty of God is happy. Ask Jesus. Is honesty of God happiness? Okay, Jesus, so start us out like 0 with correction. He says, first, see that you don't want one. Jesus, do I not want corrections? And for them to be easy? Is that a play in consciousness, not to make a correction be really simple, easy, and fast? See how quickly he says, yeah. Very humbling. Okay. He says, just see how much you really relish making the correction difficult. Okay. Let's look at that. Is there a desire below my level of awareness to make correction difficult? And then just go till he says no. You're accepting your correction from me. See, if you're not talking to me, if you're not willing to listen, that's just a symbol of not wanting to see how easy the correction is. Okay. This morning we were in meditation. We with Jesus and where we just listen to him for corrections. Okay, what are the miracles, Jesus? What are the miracles to perform now and see? What can you show me? And so he brought to mind the decision, the desire not to laugh, for an experience of not laughing. I'm thinking, that's a great one. Jesus, is there any energy around not wanting to laugh? Like really relishing not laughing at this whole scenario. He says, if you're not laughing at it, then there's a desire not to. Like, wow. See, what happens is we hold on to the no so tightly, and being in the no to divine so much, rather than if we just laugh when he shows it to us, then it opens the mind to just be available for his instruction. As Marguerite said so beautifully this morning, he's just pointing. He's pointing for us to see what's true. He's always pointing up. You think it's going to be sacrifice to follow me. That's why you don't join with your brother. Because you think it's sacrifice to join with your brother, to accept the correction. You believe the correction is sacrifice. Ask Jesus, do I believe the correction? Yes, it's the only way consciousness can play to extend out time, to make correction hell, and thus keep hell as experience in a little way tucked away corner of the mind. This is really helpful. Jesus, show me any areas where I don't think the correction is. I think it's sacrifice or punishment. You think correction is punishment. Okay? Anywhere in the mind where that is. The desire for the experience for correction to seem like punishment. For it to seem like I'm going to be punished if I talk to you throughout the day. And he says that's really a big one. That concept that a prompt from him is punishment. Jesus, do I feel like when you tell me something that I'm going to be doing, give me assignments, that he said it's only for that. The assignments are only for you to see where you believe God is going to punish you for something. That's all the prompt's for. It's not about the doing of something, although that can be helpful, because then when we say yes to the prompt, we're saying yes to time and space rearrangement by him. But you got to go naked. Like he says in chapter 30, do not judge what you're asked for, because that's what happens too. We'll say, yes, all right. And then we judge it. And then you can't see. You have to completely, teach me, you have to completely go naked. Go to the unknowing. And you start to see, the less you plan or think about it at all, like somehow the mind, we're just open to the time rearrangement. And he's being really very explicit to see those aren't miracles, although the miracles expressed through those. It's quite miraculous. It's just, it's inexplicable. You are denying the miracle if you don't accept the prompt. The prompt and the following and the space rearrangements are the miracles happening. Their acceptance of the atonement, the accepting of divine power. And you just start seeing when you're in function how it lines up on the runway. But he's saying don't even judge that, because sometimes you could be working on something. It's only, and it seems like it's kerfuffling, because kerfuffle is always, it's not going the way I think. And it's so helpful just to be straight up with Jesus. Okay, Jesus, this doesn't seem to be going smoothly. What's not smooth is interpretive function in the mind about what's happening. So it's the continually asking him, okay, the correction is merely his interpretation, which is holiness. That's helpful. Thank you for that, Jesus, talking about the correction. That's the biggest Christmas present of all, to see that the correction is merely love, loving love as love. And to look directly with him at the concept of what a correction is. That's helpful. Jesus, will you show me any concepts that I have about what correction is? Do you have any concepts in there? This is like, there's a truckload of concepts behind the idea of what a correction is. It's a relief not to know what a miracle is. Just feel it. Not know anything about a miracle. Because as soon as the ego moves in and it gets hold of, oh, I need a correction, it's already out of gentleness. Jesus, are corrections gentle? Is waking up gentle? He says it. It's gentle. It's just gentle. So if it feels rough, let's find out what's making it rough. or ungentle? What's the desired experience to make a correction feel like we're run over by a truck? He said it's not gentle. Remember, it's a soft, gentle voice. It's not accepting the correction that is ungentle. It's not accepting the prompts. It's divine function. Let's just call it that. Divine function. Celestial function that's ungentle. You know, this is really what we can laugh at when it seems to be something coming into spirit and there's this big kerfuffle and fighting and oh my God, and it's going to be terrible. And this is a great reminder that it's a present decision right in this moment to deny God here. It's not about like a future event of doing something, but the ego will make it about that. See, you just feel the turtle pulling in. I'll be, if I don't look directly, I'll be safe. It's going to hurt to look. It's going to hurt to follow because following is the correction. Wow. Following is the correction. He says, yes. So we don't even know what a correction is. It's the ego parrot going, it's a change in perception. Yes, that's helpful, but if you don't really be with Jesus on even what change in perception is, and look deeply at how much perception is a desired experience, then it feels like sacrifice. Jesus, do I believe it's a sacrifice to see through all perception? That perception does not exist. So we look at lesson 359. God's answer is some form of peace. On Noel and the celebration of the reminder that Christ, why not today? This isn't having to wait 365 days or the gifts. All of God's gifts are here. Jesus, are all God's gifts here for me? Can I celebrate them now? Welcome home. Welcome home. God's answer is some form of peace. See, if there's any belief below the level of awareness that God's answer is hell, it will be a rough awakening. Because there'll be the resistance. Resistance is trying to prove that God's answer is not peace. Ask Jesus, is that what I'm trying to prove? That God's answer to me is not peace? And hear him. Whenever you're not at peace, you're trying to prove God's answer isn't peace. So am I continually trying to prove that peace, that God's answer is hell? All pain is healed, all misery replaced with joy. Feels good to just be clear with Jesus on this point. Jesus is my only function, joy. Infinite joy. All prison doors are open and all sin is understood as merely a mistake. That's the question. Let's ask him, Jesus, am I willing to see that all sin is merely a mistake? Do I have willingness to see that? If he says no, okay, Jesus, show me what I need to see. I'm willing to look at where I'm not willing to see that sin's just a mistake. Where I really relish sin as not being a mistake. Even though in the light of divine being, we can see that there's no sin. So the only way sin to seem real is to relish it. Is there any place where I'm relishing sin? Can I ask for a miracle? A miracle of not seeing sin is just a mistake. Father, today we will forgive your world. Wow. Needing to forgive, capital Y-O-U-R, capital, your world. And let creation be your own. Will you show me that by direct experience? That creation is my own. That it can't really be another way other than creation being my own. He said, that's all I want to show you. Creation being all your own, all my own. We have misunderstood all things. Jesus, am I misunderstanding all things? Am I willing to see that I've misunderstood all things? Will I be supremely happy when I see that I've misunderstood all things? He said it's really the only way to be supremely happy. But we have not made sinners of the holy sons of God. What you created, sinless, so abides forever and forever. In the light of divine being, in the honesty of God, has what God created abide forever and ever. And see that love's only answer to that is yes. Such are we. And we rejoice to learn that we have made mistakes which have no real effects on us. Jesus, do any mistakes that I've ever made have a real effect on me? Do I want them to have? Pretend like they can do? Can I only pretend? Can I ever really make mistakes? In truth, can they ever have an impact on the Son of God? Sin is impossible. And on this fact, forgiveness rests upon a certain base more solid than the shadow world we see. Jesus, is this world a shadow? Do I like the shadow and like playing in shadow? Will you show me? Can I release that error of thought to you? He says, as long as you keep sin as a concept, as an idea that it's possible, you'll feel like you're in shadow. Help us forgive, for we would be redeemed. Jesus, will you help us forgive? Jesus, do I want to be redeemed? Will you show me any delays to being redeemed now? Is it possible for the awakening to who I am to be gentle? Will you show me where I don't want it to be gentle? He says, I can only show you that if you really follow me. See how ungentle it is when you don't follow me. It's not following me that's the ungentle thing to do. Because it's not being true to identity, to who you really are. See that the only gentleness there is to follow me. Like following the star. Like the three kings following the star. And you'll be visited by the three kings bringing gifts, bearing the gifts through your brother. What a beautiful symbol. That all of the world will bow down to you. Not in the ways of the world, through your benevolence and acceptance of holy light as an expression of God's love in the world. I go before you clearing a path. Jesus, do you go before me clearing a path? Of course, when you follow me, it's my function, and it's your function to follow. Give all concepts to me, so they may be washed from your holy mind. Concepts about miracles, so much love in that. Thank you, Jesus. Give the concepts, or any concepts around miracles, any concepts around correction, any concepts about what it means to follow me. You're following you. You're following holiness. Help us forgive, for we be at peace. Even forgive forgiveness. Concepts of forgiveness. Because an I gets involved with forgiveness, he says. Forgiveness is merely seeing what's true right here and now. The Christ. Jesus is the Christ, the only thing that's true. Nothing else is true. You're the truth. You're not seeking truth. You can't seek truth. You can only be truth, the truth. The Son of God, it's God made you exactly whole, holy, complete, infinite, unchanging light. Amen. Happiest of holograms. We love you from San Juan Cosala.